We've seen Bitcoin skyrocket above the $68,000 price level now. We have managed to successfully break this zone of resistance, and it has happened on a Sunday, which begs the question, are we going to be leaving a CME gap and potentially heading back down? Obviously, this has been quite a stellar rally from these lows here. We have now managed to rise up by 27% in just over 2 weeks. I want to talk to you guys about the possibility of breaking 72K and setting brand new all-time highs. I think that's something absolutely huge is right around the corner. In fact, I think that the resolution of this entire 5-month price range is right around the corner. And this is one of the best things Bitcoin could have done. I mean, in the previous live stream that I made with you guys were watching that. Shout out to those of you who are subscribed. You are going to know that I literally said in very, very clear terms, if we manage to get above $68,000, we are good and all of the resistance is broken. A very, very quick reminder of what that looks like is this fixed range volume profile, which shows us that we had big spikes in volume, which end right here. So this is kind of the valley where we start entering very quick, snappy price action that takes us up to our next zones of resistance typically. So I am going to be expecting that $72,000 level to be right around the corner at this stage now. We have gotten above 68. Now, we're not holding above it particularly well, and usually when you get this high, it's just a really quick move up. So we're actually going to know how valid this is probably by the daily close, which is in 2 hours, or if not, at the latest on Monday. I think that if Bitcoin doesn't quickly get sucked to the top of this range, then something is wrong, and I'm going to start asking questions, and I'm going to start looking at this thing potentially coming back down and actually just calling this a fake out and then moving here. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that now that we've made it this far, we're in a pretty good place, but I think that this is going to depend on things like the S&P 500. I mean, the S&P 500 began its first significant correction since this one in March, so up until the beginning of this one, it was 110 days, which makes it very, very well timed. From its high down to its low, it's down by 3%, which obviously is absolutely nothing. But considering how strong the S&P 500 has been, this definitely is a bigger drop than kind of, some of the other very, very small, you can't even call them drops, that we've seen before. And relating that back to Bitcoin, obviously, if we're seeing strength with traditional finance, you're going to expect strength with Bitcoin. But on the opposite side, if you're getting weakness with traditional finance, that's actually a bad thing for Bitcoin. So to me, there's a lot of equilibrium stuff at play here right now, right? I think that there's so many great factors to suggest that this thing needs to drop down. But at the moment, Bitcoin itself is showing a lot of unique strength. So, that's not something which I would turn my back on and fail to pay attention to. I mean, if we take a look at the dollar, I can't actually see when the dollar session opens or closes. But anyway, if we take a look at the dollar, I believe it's not moving right now. So yeah, it's already closed. We are up at 104, right? So if you continue to see 104.3, so if you continue to see the dollar kind of climb higher, which is what could end up happening based off the last couple of days, again, this is all bad news for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's chart itself showed us the worst news here at 67K, and nothing really happened. In fact, just today, there was just a quite interesting kind of liquidity hunt. It's not even that interesting because it's the same thing that we've seen a million times, but if we throw on the 5-minute time frame here, Bitcoin basically managed to get up to 67.8. It fell all the way down to 65.8, which was a $2,000 price drop, and now it's back up to 68,000, right? So from these very, very short-term time frames, clearly this was just a liquidity hunt where the market tried to push up, couldn't find liquidity there, so it found it on the downside, and now that we've found that liquidity down here, we are basically clear to move higher. This also makes a lot of sense because we also sweeped our previous low, right? So this is kind of where you get a lot of people potentially starting to set stop losses or where their liquidation levels are just below kind of bits of consolidation like this, right? A lot of people very reasonably probably built up some longs over here. If they didn't build up longs there, they probably built them up over here or here, right? Any of these kind of sideways ranges. But the only good stop loss would have been where's my horizontal line? The only good stop loss would have been around over here, and this wick very, very cleanly takes them out. So again, as far as kind of liquidity hunts go, the types of liquidity hunts that typically result in upward price action, this one was perfect. So again, it's all eyes on this right now because Bitcoin has everything it needs in order to keep trending higher now. And so my attention is going to be placed firmly on that $72,000 price level. We have to first get out of this particular range, but like I said, I think most of that resistance is pretty much done here. If we take a look at some of our smaller time frames, we've managed to bounce off beautifully from our 1 hour Ichimoku cloud, which is spectacular. Look at these bounces that we've had here on the hourly time frame. That is so good to see. On the 4 hour time frame, we're very far away. We're getting further away. It's nowhere near, and it's far away in terms of time as well. It's all the way at Friday that we only just see this Ichimoku cloud get to 64K. So this very clearly is telling me that a big correction could be on the way. You know, typically when you get such a big gap between price and Ichimoku cloud, you know, eventually they meet. I don't know how they're going to meet. Sometimes it's just that the price kind of moves sideways and the Ichimoku catches up. Most of the time, despite how strong a sell-off can be, eventually you end up meeting that cloud. Usually it's both forces. Usually the cloud moves up and the price moves down, and then you get something really nice and happy. How that would look here, I don't know, because if you start to lose 67K, then you have to fall back down to the next support, which I see at 64, and below that, the next significant support that I see is at 60, right? So this really isn't a level that we want to lose. We do still have a lot of support beneath us, so that's good. On the daily time frame, we're now flipping bullish with a few of our daily EMAs on this EMA ribbon, and they are all going to be lining up at $64,000 in a few days as well. So, you know, there is confluence there from different time frames, from different indicators, and that's absolutely great. Obviously, this is an existing level that we know to be very important. So we're not out of luck if Bitcoin, you know, doesn't hold above 68, if it doesn't hold above 67. But, you know, it does mean that we now have resistance above us again, right? And this is the thing, is that now on this chart, I can say, and, you know, I could be wrong, it won't be the first or last time, but I can say based off this chart, what I'm seeing here, that there is no more strong, dangerous, formidable, scary resistance ahead for Bitcoin. That's it. It's done. There's no more bad resistance for Bitcoin according to what I'm seeing, right? So if that's the case, then naturally you probably want to keep it that way. You don't want to lose these important resistance levels, which now hopefully are support. And actually what you might want to see is something a little bit like this, where you come up and tag 72 for resistance, come back down and tag 68 for support, and then you are off. Basically, the move that we were hoping we got over here, you know, you'd love to see it play out over here. It would be absolutely great. So again, that's going to be something which I am very keenly paying attention to. Bitcoin's dominance still rising higher. We're still seeing that while Bitcoin is moving up, Bitcoin's dominance is moving up as well. Now, this is really important because if we take a look at kind of when Bitcoin managed to break out above 69K, its previous all-time high, and start setting new all-time highs and just generally rally very hard, especially kind of in this period. This kind of starts in February and peaks in the middle of March. And if we take a look at Bitcoin's dominance during those two same time frames, let's take a look at this here, kind of middle of March around here. You are seeing Bitcoin's dominance continue to trend up. And in fact, we continue to see that all the way up to the middle of April, right? So what's very clear is that when Bitcoin starts making kind of significant price moves, Bitcoin's dominance moves up with it, okay? This is something we've spoken about a lot on the YouTube channel. Again, those of you that are subscribed are going to be very familiar with this, but I'm going to blow your mind right here, because if we take a look at Bitcoin against Bitcoin's dominance, what we're going to see here, ladies and gents, is that Bitcoin rallies up beautifully from its low of the market cycle over here, which also lines up with the low of its dominance. And while Bitcoin is, while Bitcoin's price goes up, so too does Bitcoin's dominance. So we're seeing the same thing happen right now, and this could be getting ready to explode again, which would probably mean at the very most a bloodbath for altcoins, and at the very least just altcoins losing value against Bitcoin. I don't think we're going to be seeing a bloodbath for altcoins. I just think that altcoins are, at best, I think they're just going to hold their dollar value. Realistically, they're probably going to, well, they're going to, at best they're going to gain a bit against the dollar. Realistically, they're probably going to stay roughly the same, move up by, 5-10%, whatever, nothing crazy. But Bitcoin would move up by a lot more than that. which means that these coins get weaker against Bitcoin. If you're losing Bitcoin, then I don't know what the hell you're doing. That is a very, very bad position to be in. So I think that's important in this market. There's still going to be great opportunities that I'm looking for in altcoins. Here is Solana just getting a phenomenal breakout now, with support beginning to reestablish at 170. Potentially, if we come back down to it here, I definitely think that that's a bet that I'd consider taking. Obviously not a bet, but a specific trade setup. And, you know, I'd probably place my stop loss a little bit wide, about 4.3% out. But I can quite comfortably target, you know, just 186 or even significantly higher, like $200, you know, and that over here looks like a kind of 5x risk to reward, which is absolutely great. And obviously you can sign up to Blofin to trade these markets using the link at the top of the description here. They are a no KYC platform offering you huge rewards when you sign up and start trading using my link in the description below. You're getting thousands and thousands of dollars for free to trade with on this platform here. And like I said, not many great choices if you're interested in a no KYC platform. Most of them are very shady and not, you know, a place that you'd want to put your money in. Blofin, yeah, it might be the same, I don't know, but they look good to me, so check them out if you're interested. Bybit remains the best in the game, and they're giving you even bigger bonuses, so definitely check that out. And as usual, be very mindful of your country's local regulations. Now, moving back to the chart here, Solana's looking pretty decent for a long play. This is actually one of the really nice things about the situation we have in the market now, is that while Bitcoin is moving up and Bitcoin's dominance is pushing these altcoins down against Bitcoin, we are going to start seeing a lot of opportunities starting to open up here. I mean, you know, Ethereum against Bitcoin starting to slide down, but this historically has been a pretty decent buying range for Ethereum against Bitcoin, right? I mean, if we zoom out back to June of 22, this was a great place to be buying Ethereum against Bitcoin right now. I mean, just in 2023 to 2024, we've seen very nice support coming off this particular price level against Bitcoin as well. So, you know, this is where a lot of opportunities come. Personally, I've been saying it for a while. I still think Ethereum's going to be sliding down. I still think it's going to sweep this low. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I don't have a problem with being wrong. I only have a problem if I'm not making money. And trust me, we do not have that problem here. So I am pretty happy with how this is going. You guys have seen my Bybit stuff on my phone many times. So you guys get the deal. You know, as long as I'm making money, I don't really care if I'm right or wrong or left or right or whatever the deal is. I just cannot bring myself to care as long as the Bitcoin holdings are up. That is what is important to me. And obviously with Bitcoin looking as strong as it is right now, with no reason left, you know, to hold it back from that 71.5K price range, to me, this is a very exciting bit of price action. You know, personally, I'm looking for that next entry. I still think that an entry could be coming off this particular level here. If we get a little bit higher, this would be a great level to enter. Right now, I don't like it as an entry because we haven't cleared it with enough conviction. You know, and obviously if we don't kind of come back down for this back test, which is entirely possible, the market seems very primed right now. If we don't do that, then getting above 72 does offer that back test opportunity here. So again, lots and lots of safe, easy trade opportunities that I'm going to be looking at in this market here. And of course, lots more in the altcoin market, which I will continue to keep you all updated on as you make sure to smash those likes up and double check that you are subscribed. If we throw a Fibonacci on this chart, stretching it from the recent low to the all-time high, and then just extend it out, well, we can see that we have now cleared our 382 Fibonacci resistance here. We have conclusively cleared our 618. That was a fair while back. We are now going to be brushing up against 236, which of course, again, historically is just not that important. It's just not that worrying. If we draw the Fibonacci just to these more recent highs, it's the same picture here. So we're looking very good in terms of clearing resistance, in my opinion. I want to take a look at a couple more kind of key time frames. 4-hour EMA ribbon working beautifully for Bitcoin here. Absolutely beautifully, absolutely great. Very nice indeed. Daily, like I said, still lagging behind a little bit. And on the daily Ichimoku cloud, we do still have resistance here. However, it is closing up. Now, this is very rare in my experience that you get a big, healthy daily Ichimoku cloud and the price falls out of it but then recovers back beyond it. That is exceptionally rare in my 7+ years of trading, so I do want to point that out. You know, not all the time are things perfect. Actually, here is a similar situation, but it's not the same because Bitcoin actually broke a red cloud here. So it would have been the same if it did this, but it didn't. It came out a very red cloud. So that is a meaningful difference worth taking into account. See here, like pretty much, I mean, historically, it's very clear when you lose a green Ichimoku cloud, you know, there's historically been a lot of very, very concerning things that would happen to Bitcoin afterwards. So yeah, lots to unpack there as we do continue to just watch Bitcoin set some new highs right now while recording this video actually as well. So let me know what you guys think about all of this stuff in the comment section below. Let's go ahead and take a look at this fear and greed index, and wow, we are at 74 in 2 hours. We're definitely going to be in extreme greed. That is a problem. You know, like I said, I mean, I'm trying to keep this somewhat balanced because of the kind of situation that we're in right now in this market, but you know, again, from a technical perspective, I can't tell you that I see reasons for this chart to drop. You know, other than when I start looking at things like this and I start looking at TradFi, which, you know, does balance the picture a little bit, and it does show us that traditional finance is looking a little bit more kind of shaky. You know, so I don't know how much we can expect that strength to come in with Bitcoin, but I mean, I guess this is just going to be something that we kind of wait and see. There are no particular trade setups I want to take right here. Of course, I will be back with you guys tomorrow and whenever else the market is moving to give you guys my thoughts on all of this. So if you are excited for that next bit of content that I'll be releasing to you all, do me a favor and smash those likes up. Double check, of course, that you are subscribed to this YouTube channel, and check out your links to huge bonuses and trading in these markets if you are interested. And as usual, read the disclaimer, do not break your country's laws. Thank you all very much. I hope you have enjoyed this one. You know what to do if you have, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.